Louis Oliver comes up with a recovery, but that's a much tougher play to recover than you might think. When that ball starts rolling, you usually get one clear hop, and the second one is a real high hop, and you have to really be careful with it.
Scott Sequels has come in. Dan Marino has left for the day with 1:54 to go. 20 of 32, 307 yards and 2 touchdowns for Marino. Logan, the ball carrier. Mark Logan gets about a yard as the spare players on the Dolphins get a little playing time here in these final minutes. Timeout taken by the Bucs. 1:44 on the clock.
Mark Logan and Mark Higgs were running mates at the University of Kentucky. Higgs is Logan's a little younger than Higgs, but they were teammates at Kentucky, and Higgs was the top ball carrier, and Logan was the guy who sort of ran in his shadow. But he was picked up by the Cincinnati Bengals, and then of course the Bengals had him on plan B, and he came down here to Miami. But power type back, good on special teams.
Scott Sequels has had limited time behind Marino as he has since he came into the league 4 years ago. 8 of 13 passing in what little time he's had on the field for the Dolphins in their first 12 games this season. He's got a 2nd and 9. Sequels, a star at Virginia, came over in a trade in '89 from Dallas. Now the Saints got their help. Green Bay is now in front of Atlanta, 31-28 on a field goal by Chris Jackie, but there's still 3:21 left. Sammy Smith on the carry there. Gets to the 40-yard line. The Saints, of course, are cheering for Green Bay to win that game, but still 3:21 to go. And when you got the likes of Andre Rison and Michael Haynes, Miller throwing the ball, that one's not over yet, I guess.
Not at all. But I'm surprised that Green Bay scored 31 points. Their offense hasn't really been that productive during the course of the year, Tim. But apparently they've caught on steam, caught on stride today.
With Mike Tomczak at quarterback for the injured Don Mikowski.
There's a group right there that has to be disappointed. The entire Tampa Bay team, I'm sure, is disappointed in the result of this game. But their defense has been the heart and soul of the Tampa Bay's effort. They played hard all year long. They're ranked among the top defensive teams in the league, and they were just totally ripped apart today, to be honest. Floyd Peters trying to put a defensive game plan up against Dan Marino just didn't have what it took to match up with Miami today.
Nichols still continuing for the injured Reuben Davis, who hasn't returned to the game. Tim Newton's been out for quite a while. Red Hall's been in there.
353!
Al Chambly at defensive end, and Broderick Thomas flies in there and holds Logan to a gain of about 1.5 yards. That'll bring up 4th down with 1:22 and counting down.
So here's something you miss. A guy like Broderick Thomas is having an all-pro year, but he's playing on a team that, is down in not a winning team. They're a losing football team, and you lose sight of the talent a guy like that has. He's having an outstanding season, but it's sort of lost in the wash because of the win-loss record.
No question. It's a good point. That does happen to players on losing teams. The votes come from players on the other teams, and you would think that should be all accounted, but they're human too. They look at the records, they look at the stats. 4th down, and Miami going for it here at the 38-yard line, but presumably just an effort to use up the rest of the time. And they'll surrender the ball now on that carry. Sammy Smith stopped at the line of scrimmage. 37 seconds remaining, and the Buccaneers will take over for these final seconds. And slow to get up is William Frizzell, number 33 of the Bucs.
You may oftentimes ask yourself, Tim, with a team like Tampa Bay, how do you get going? How do you keep going during the course of the season when you're out of it? Coach Williamson told us last night we're playing for pride, that we're pros, we've got a lot of talent and character, and that's what you play for. And you also play for contracts next year. I mean, what you do out here today will determine to a great extent whether or not you have a contract and the nature of that contract next season.
Four wide receivers. They got 3 of them out to the right. Testaverde going to the left, and it's incomplete. Intended for Carrier. Coming up to cover was J.B. Brown, number 37. Testaverde on the day, 19 of 34, 211 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Threw the ball very well early on, particularly the opening drive, and has had 3 or 4 drops. And the intercept appeared to be a mistake downfield, not on his part. Somebody running an incorrect route. 2nd and 10. Same formation. Drury may have a first down, stops the clock with 26 seconds left. Chris Green on the coverage. Now there's a young man who had a couple of drops on the other side of the ball, but more than made up for it. Spectacular diving grab in the end zone. Several other big plays, including a 50-yarder. He was caught from behind on route to the end zone again. Tony Martin. 3rd down, about a football. Of course, they're throwing. And that's incomplete. Carrier had an eye on Lewis Oliver, and 1 eye on the ball and 1 eye on Lewis.
I guarantee you, Tim, Lewis Oliver's been waiting all day long to do that. He plays free safety for the Miami Dolphins, and his rule for the most part is to stay deep, pick up anything that comes through, but he's one of these guys who's a contact player. He'd rather be a linebacker than a free safety. He wants to mix it up on every play. And this year they're trying to get him to concentrate on picking off interceptions rather than making the hits, but I'm sure he loved that play.
21 seconds left. 4th down. This time the formation out to the left, short side to Carrier, and it's a first down for the Bucs and 17 seconds left. Prolonging the inevitable here, the Buccaneers are, as they try to get into the end zone one more time. Well, at Joe Robbie Stadium, it's been a long afternoon for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they led early 7-0, but now trail 33-14 with just 17 seconds to play. Tim Ryan and Herb Cross here, watching the Dolphins get to 7-6 over the 500 mark for the first time this year, and still in the AFC wild card hunt. And it's aired out by Testaverde, 12 yards ahead of the intended receiver, Anthony. And 8 seconds left as the clock is stopped. Coming up next, our doubleheader game 2. You'll be watching either the Giants at Cincinnati, Washington at the Rams, or New Orleans at the San Francisco 49ers. Today's game was produced by George Veras, directed by Artie Kempner. The NFL Today was produced by Eric Mann and directed by Duke Struck. And that outstanding feature that you enjoyed, Robo QB, featuring Terry Bradshaw, was produced by Rich Gentile of our production crew here today. The senior producer of the NFL on CBS is Ed Gorin, and the executive producer is Ted Shaker. Last play of the game. And Testaverde showing that arm strength again. What a pile in the end zone there. Nobody got it. So that is it for Herb Cross. This is Tim Ryan saying so long from Joe Robbie Stadium. The final score: Miami 33, Tampa Bay 14. Our coverage continues after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Lawrence Hatch still not in the game for the Gators defensively. Myrick Anderson in at that bandit back. On 2nd down, Weldon fakes the draw. Rushed out of the pocket again. He throws into the end zone. It is batted around and incomplete.
Whoa! Was that close? Dell Spear knocks the ball away from Kevin Knox in the corner of the end zone. Will White also over on the play. My goodness, what an effort by all the athletes in the corner of the end zone. Casey Weldon, a bit of pressure from Culpepper. He escapes again, the magician. Now deep into the corner as Gaines converges on him. Will White, Larry Kennedy.
Boy, that was something bouncing around there. 3rd and 9 for the Gator defense and the Seminole offense. 2:15 left in the contest, each team with 2 timeouts. And Florida State will use one of those timeouts, as Weldon did not like what he saw in the Gator
this ball game.
Gator fans come to their feet on 3rd and 9. Now just one back behind Weldon. Throws it behind his receiver, incomplete. Fourth down. 4th down and 9. Florida State needs to get to the 5 for a first down.
Had both wide receivers double covered, Larry. They tried to hit the slant route, but I think there was a communication problem, or did he really throw it that badly? He really threw a bad pass for one of the first times in this ball game that I can certainly recall, but that was clearly behind the receiver.
2:11 left on the clock.
What down is it?
4th down and 9.
Oh.
This rivalry comes down to this play. Heading into the north end zone, Weldon has to call timeout again.
Oh,
Somebody
he's angry.
lined up wrong.
Yes.
He's upset with one of his teammates.
Yeah, someone did not get the snap count or did not line up properly, and he angrily called timeout.
So now Casey Weldon huddles up with Bobby Bowden about what they may want to do on this 4th and 9 play.
Let the chips fall where they may.
85,000 plus a record crowd at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, and they will all be on their feet for this snap. As the Seminoles, there's only 9 seconds on the play clock. They took a long time getting in and out of the huddle. 4 seconds to snap it. They do. Weldon rolling right side, looking for Matt Fryer. Can't find him. Now he throws in the end zone. Tipped. Incomplete. The Gators get the ball back with 2:03 to go. And Florida has a chance to run out the clock. Great coverage in the secondary by the Gators. Del Spear, Larry Kennedy, Will White, Myrick Anderson. Florida's defense came up big on the biggest play of the 1991 season.
I thought Casey Weldon perhaps would run the football as he looked. And then he looked again. Now I thought he was going to perhaps run right here, but then he looks again. Carlton Miles was closing on him. He never would have made it on the run. Will White was the defensive back that tipped the ball away, and look at this sideline. All right.
Remember, Florida State is out of timeout, so the Gators will try to run it, maybe run wide to make it take that much longer to reset the football.
How about pick up a first down, huh?
Right up the gut with Willie McClendon. You have 25 seconds after they spot the ball and blow it into play, so you can run 3 plays and knock the clock down inside 30 seconds easily. But if you can string it out well enough, you might be able to force no snaps. There it is, 1:40 to go on the game clock. The play clock working its way down now stands at 15. Gators have to snap it with about 1:20 left. Again, it's a time when you might want to run wide and spread everything all over the field. It takes longer to put the ball back in play after something like that.
Hold on to it, whatever you do.
Matthews rolls right and then takes a hit after a 2-yard gain. But again, it spread people all over the field. Florida wants to take as much time as they possibly can. Let's hear the whistle. There it is at 1:04, so the Gators will have to snap it with 39 seconds to go. If they can kill 14 seconds by stringing it out and making it hard to put the ball in play, they won't have to risk the punt. See what the Gators do, as there's 10 seconds now on the play clock. Matthews up to the line of scrimmage. The Gators fake the reverse. They've got people all over the field, however. And now let's see how long it takes them to put the ball in play. 5 seconds. If they don't do it, the Gators will win this game. That's it. They won't have to snap it again. The Florida Gators, for the first time in school history, can claim a 10-win season as they have beaten third-ranked Florida State in front of a record crowd. Let's listen to the crowd and watch the clock wind down. for the second time in 2 weeks, an emotion-charged crowd at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium watches the Florida Gators come through. A 5-point win over Florida State. Jim and I will be back after this timeout. You're watching.
Some familiar faces return to stare at Week 14 as the Bills try to avoid being caught from behind in pursuit of another division title. Do the Redskins win their division, or would they be ambushed by the Rams? The Saints tried to stop their sinning in hostile candlestick. The Giants start a new era with an old friend. The Chiefs and Seahawks in a survival battle in the AFC West. It's fun and intriguing when the Falcons are involved. Hey, use your head. Primetime is next.